Alright, so I'm here in Miami with my friend Brad, aka the Bradass, right? That's
What's
your
up,
Instagram
guys?
thing?
That's it, the_Bradass.
So, yeah, I wanted to have a little chat with you, man. I know we chatted online a little bit and getting to know you, but for the people that don't know you yet, would you mind just telling a little bit about yourself, how you went vegan, and your story?
Absolutely. So, long story short, because this could go on for a long time, I was chubby as a kid and I always wanted better. So personal development was a big theme in my life, and it all started when I got a job at Smoothie King when I was 16 years old. That's when I started to learn about nutrition. Nutrition led me to understanding about working out and how fitness, nutrition all equate to a better body, but also a better mind. I was still eating meat, still having dairy, but I wanted to take that road towards personal development. I started losing weight, which led me to a modeling career after college. Still eating meat, still having dairy. And it was just in the last couple of years where my best friend, since I was 13, 14 years old, he was vegan. At first he was very militant. He was like one of those guys that would attend the vigils and be kind of hardcore. It pretty much intimidated me, it scared me. So we had a little separation where we wouldn't speak to each other as much. I felt like we were going in different areas in life. But of course, here comes the Netflix documentaries, here comes the YouTube videos and the Instagram post where you start to see what's really going on. And being someone that's always loved animals, I would always think of myself as, I love animals. I love dogs and cats, but also always loved pigs and cows and chickens because they're all cute. They're all animals I could relate to at some point. And I felt uneasy. I think that was the big thing, is I felt like, I said I loved animals. I said I was caring about the planet. I was caring about animal welfare, and I wanted to have a pig as a pet one day, but yet there I was eating bacon. There I was having pork rinds. I mean, not really pork rinds, but still, you know, animal products. And that's when I had that realization back in 2017, I gotta wean myself off. I had every excuse in the book because I was thinking, now that I'm a model, I need to have a specific physique, and I didn't have anyone to relate to in terms of who's a model that has my body type, that has done this before, because I'm thinking I gotta have this protein, I have to have these animal products because it fills me up, it fills my muscles. If I don't have it, I'm just gonna be this giant puffy cloud, and no one's gonna sign a model or have a model work for them that has a body that isn't something that they desire. But I also knew I felt uneasy. I had to at least try it. So 2017, I said, look, let me give up pork, chicken, red meat. I just feel so unaligned with having these animal products, knowing what's going on without even trying. So 2017 was a year of eggs, fish, a tiny bit of dairy, but that was my transition year, and it was tough, to be honest. I mean, I was someone that would have chicken once a day, 6-egg omelet every day, Greek yogurt or cottage cheese every day, whey protein in my smoothies. Wow.
It's a lot of animal protein.
So a lot of animal protein, butter from time to time, but you know, it's like when you grow up on that and when you're told that that's healthy because you want to achieve this body, that's what you do. And when your career is tied to it, when your income is tied to it, then what are you supposed to do?
Right.
So I knew I had to at least experiment. Last year was all pescatarian, and the end of last year is when I said, you know what, let me take it to the next level. Let me try being vegan for a month. So January 2018 was that big month, that this is it, it's gonna be either do or die. And after that 30 days or 31 days, whatever January is, I said, man, I can't believe I took so long to even experiment, because the results, I mean, it's not like my body transformed. My body was pretty good, and it was still pretty good, except now my mind was so much more free. I felt like it was more of a spiritual transformation than anything else. Like I just felt more grounded, more in tune with the universe, and I felt fulfilled. It's like, hey, one giant injustice in the world is being lessened because of what I'm doing for breakfast every day. Like, that's pretty cool. I don't have to do all this extra work. I just have to not feed this one injustice every day by changing the way I eat, and my body didn't suffer. In fact, long term, I'm sure my health is better, but at least spiritually I felt more aligned, and just mentally I feel like I'm doing a better part in the universe. So It's been a wonderful 9 months so far.
Yeah, you know what's interesting is like, because you're a model, you come at this from like an aesthetic aspect, but I think it's just so cool that you've actually experienced different benefits that normally, like for example, you said spiritual benefits, and yeah, just all of that. So that's amazing that it was more than just a physical aesthetic benefit type thing you were going after.
Yeah, and I thought that that was going to be the difference, is that my body's either going to blow up or it's going to shrink down and I'll be super shredded. But for me, I've always counted carbs, fats, calories, protein, and all I had to do was replace the animal products with the equivalent macronutrients of vegan foods or plant-based proteins,
Right.
and I would still see the same results. So again, 3,000 calories of plant-based protein versus vegan protein and vegan macronutrients, it's the same results, except I'm probably getting more minerals and nutrients into me now. But my body didn't change much, but spiritually, I had no idea what would happen, and it was a lot better than I thought.
Right, so can you talk a little bit about your diet? Like, you know, people say vegan diet, it can mean so many things. So like, what kind of plant-based diet are you on? And like how many calories and, you know, how much protein you're eating? Yeah,
and that was like, that's something that's been a big part of me for a long time, and I've always eaten around 3,000 to 3,400 calories, but I'm 6'3", 190 pounds. I love to eat, so I think there's a point where, like, if you see pictures of me as a kid, I was a chubster, I was a big kid, so I think a part of me, I've always wanted to eat a lot of food, and I love to eat. My mom says, I live to eat, I don't eat to live. And then another little funny story, my first ever word when I was in a crib, first ever word, wasn't mom, wasn't dad, it was more. Because I had my milk and I wanted more. My first ever word was more. So I definitely am on the higher side of calories. Protein, that's like the highest debated topic ever. I go higher protein because it fills me up. I like the satiation of protein. So along with it comes fiber, because with the plant-based proteins, you have chickpeas, you have lentils, you have beans, oats, and peanut butter, almond butter, things like that, where there's always fiber attached. So that fills me up as well. But I'm around 150 grams of protein a day, and that's without even trying. So specifically though, what I eat, I don't have breakfast now. I actually do intermittent fasting, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with.
Yeah, definitely.
I love it because I'm just not hungry for breakfast. So typically I eat around 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock and go to about 8, but that way I could eat some big meals. I don't worry about breakfast. I have some coffee in the morning and I go, and then lunchtime comes and I have my big green smoothie, which I think I'm gonna have a video on how I make that green smoothie, because it's super healthy. Spirulina, spinach, almond milk, lemon, pea protein, rice protein, banana. That's of course, awesome. I gotta go banana. Gotta go banana. That in there, man. Bananas are my favorite, but I'm not just saying that, but they're so dirt cheap too.
Dude, it makes a smoothie like, it brings it to a different level.
It's like a natural sugar. It's just so freaking good, and it helps it blend. That's what I love too. Bananas is that it's not liquid and it's not hard ice. It's that perfect middle texture that makes it so smooth. Right. It makes it smooth. So that's my breakfast, even though that's 2 o'clock. Then I work out, and after my workout, that's when I really have a lot of calories, because the smoothie is about 600. Now I want to have about 1,400. So that's brown rice pasta or lentil pasta. I'll have some rice check cereal, or just carbs, and about 50 grams of protein there. And then dinner, even though it sounds weird, I love oatmeal for dinner. It's just that warm, gooey, it's like a warm blanket being curled over you, but for your stomach. So I have the oatmeal, I have almond butter in there, sometimes some seeds like flax meal or flaxseed on there, ground up, a little maple syrup, but that's my dessert slash protein slash carb fiber fix, and altogether it's about 3,000 to 3,400 calories.
Nice, dude. I could eat oatmeal like any time of the day for sure. I love it, man, with some bananas and berries in there.
Yeah, and then you could throw nuts in there. Totally. Cinnamon. Oh yeah, gotta throw cinnamon in there. Sometimes stevia, but man, it doesn't matter. It's just if you make it with almond milk or cashew milk, one of those milks, I think it tastes 5 times better than with water. Do you do
Yeah.
water or do you do?
It depends how I feel, really. Most of the time it's water, but I mean, I'll have like it with almond milk or something like that too. And either way, like it's great, man.
So cheap, like so freaking cheap, but so filling. It's like cement, but like the most delicious cement ever, because it goes in and it's just cinnamony and it has the fruit, it has the nuts, and I love it, man.
Yeah.
I'm upset days that I can't have my oatmeal.
Overnight oats, so you like soak in
Yeah.
before? That's really good too.
You know what? I was doing that for a while, and then I love the taste of it not soaked overnight, even though the health benefits are so much better because it removes those anti-nutrients. But then I was doing it and I was like, man, I just love having it straight out of the Quaker box or you know, whatever it is.
Well, whatever way you can get it in. It sounds like your diet's really like whole food based, which is what I promote. I think it's like the best way to go about it. So that's awesome. But I'm wondering, like, could you talk a little bit about your fitness plan? Because if people go on your Instagram, like they'll see like you're super fit, dude. Like, what do you do to kind of keep like the aesthetic aspect of your modeling career up and like also like stay trim and healthy?
Yeah, for me, I'm a year-round type of guy. I'm very consistent. Obviously, I keep track of the calories. If you don't know what's going in, then you have no idea where to start. So because I have the same meals over and over again, because I enjoy them, it's very easy to record it for a week and say, all right, I know my smoothie is roughly 500 to 700 calories. I know my oatmeal is roughly 500 to 600 calories. I know my lunch is roughly 1400 calories. Then you can go from there. Once you have that down, then it goes into the fitness side. Because, I mean, you can work out 3 times a day, but if you're having 6,000 calories and you should only be having 2,000, you're gonna gain weight. I love lifting weights. I just love it. For me, it's just hoisting 300 pounds up in any way is fun, and I feel masculine, and I can grunt and groan. And
do you do like any specific like weight workouts? Because I know there's like the push-pull, like people like to focus on like deadlift, squat, and bench press. Like, do you do specific type of workouts? Yeah,
for sure. There's always new workouts, and I've experimented with so many, but the truth of what really works for me is compound movements are above and beyond anything else. You can go to the gym and do 9 exercises that are just isolating a bicep or tricep, but it doesn't equate to 2 exercises of squats, 2 or deadlifts. So first exercise for sure has to be the hardest for me. That means I'm doing squats first, I'm doing deadlifts first, I'm doing overhead press, or I'm doing bench press, or a weighted dip, or something like that where I'm exerting a lot of energy. Deadlifts are my favorite, but I think it's just my body type enjoys deadlifts. Squats are really tough because I have long limbs and it's just very tough on my joints. But yeah, I love that kind of stuff because you got to focus on the stuff that works. There's no point of doing 10 exercises that barely do anything when you could just be doing 1 or 2 exercises that really jack up your heart rate, your metabolism, and your muscle building. So it's always that push-pull. Like, I'll change it up. Sometimes I would just do chest day, and then a shoulder day, then a back day, then a leg day. And then other times I get bored of it, where I'll do full body workouts where I'll be like, all right, let me do squats, and then tricep push down, and then bench press, and then leg curl, and then rows. And it just gives me that mental break from just that monotony.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way. Like, I'm mostly a cyclist, but I mean, when I weightlift, I do bench press, deadlift, shoulder press, squats. Like, I do the compound movements like you were talking about, because that's what I've seen the most gains with. So yeah, I mean, me being like a cyclist, right? I find myself like having trouble to gain weight. Now, like, my theory is that maybe it's like me burning through too many calories when I'm cycling, or maybe I'm possibly not eating enough. But like anybody out there who's a hard gainer, because like I hear that all the time, what tips would you have to give them? Like, maybe you went through it, or you've seen somebody go through it. How can they start putting on some weight?
Well, it's funny because my best friend Steven, who's the one that got me vegan, he used to be called Gumby in middle school. If you don't know who Gumby is, look up Gumby. But very thin. I don't know if he's made of clay or what, but extremely thin. So he has like Bob Saget in Full House, that kind of body type, very lean. And it took him about 4,000 calories a day to start putting on weight. If you're a hard gainer like that, I actually envy you because I'm not a hard gainer. I can put on weight, it just always goes to my midsection. While him, he's a hard gainer, but his whole body's lean. So when he puts on weight, it goes evenly, which is great, but it takes 4,000 calories, and your stomach might not want 4,000 calories. You might be used to having a small amount of food. I would say you gotta, smoothies are great just because you can hide calories. You can throw in, you can have a 1,000-calorie smoothie very easily because you throw in a couple tablespoons of coconut oil, which is very high in calories, almond butter, peanut butter, you could throw in seeds. All these things aren't very satiating, but they're loaded with calories. Right. So if you need an extra 1,000 calories, it can be accomplished very easily. Just make sure it's with foods that are like oils or fats, where you know, if you have a small appetite. If not, then go with the carbs. I mean, eat that white rice all day long, but I envy you if that's your issue. And
then where can people learn more about you and find out what you're up to?
For sure. So our new station is Vegan 2.0, so Vegan 2, P-O-I-N-T-O. We wanted to get the dot, but some girl that hasn't been on Instagram in 3 years has that, so we're like, ah.
Man, when I first started out and I made a Twitter handle, somebody had Bananiac. So for a while it was the Bananiac, but I ended up getting it after a while because she was inactive,
Oh, I hope they do that with Instagram, because this girl, her last post was like 3 years ago, and we messaged her, but we don't expect her to be on for another 2 or 3 years, if ever. But Vegan 2, P-O-I-N-T-O, on Instagram, and then vegan2.0.com, P-O-I-N-T-O.com as the website, and then we'll have the link for YouTube as well. But we go over all that kind of stuff, the nutrition, and especially if you're a guy and you need that kind of help, then we got you covered. Before it rains, which it always does here in Miami, the worst timing possible, we got a couple guides to give away, a meat replacement guide. So if you're new to being vegan or you just want to try some cool alternatives, it's just easy. I like hamburgers, these are the top hamburger replacements. You like hot dogs, these are the top replacements. And here it comes. The Fit Vegan Guide, if you want to know more about just being a fit vegan, doing it the right way so you're a healthier person, your body's better, then we have that as well. And then my smoothie guide. Smoothies transformed my life. They can transform yours as well. Just go to our website or to our YouTube station and we'll get that for you.
Right on. Well, that's our cue because we're about to get poured on, but I'm gonna have a link in the description down below where you guys get your very own free copy. So check that out. And Brad, it's been a pleasure, man.
Thanks,
it's been great meeting you, and thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Appreciate it. See you guys.